we're taking it to. But I've got some Pioneer Woman cookbooks and I've been flipping through them, and I found her Mercantile Queso. So we're going to make that, try it out, take it with us to our ladies' night and see how everybody likes it. However, I'm going to tone down the spice just a little bit, and then also using up what I have as far as Velveeta goes. But we're going to go ahead and get it started. I have some peppers in the oven already, so I'm going to move y'all over and we'll get it going. Okay, y'all, so the first step in this recipe is to roast some Anaheim peppers or some hatch chilies. So to cut down on some of the spice, the recipe calls for 6. However, I went with 4 because I am taking this to some other people and I'm not sure their level of heat tolerance. Plus, we've got a lot of spice in this. So if you have a gas stove, you can just roast them over that gas flame. I don't have a gas stove in here and I didn't feel like going out to my shop to cook these. So I just put them on broil in the oven for about 5 minutes on each side in my oven safe pan so that I can use the same pan in just a second. But now I've got them sweating in a Ziploc bag and we're going to move on to the really fun part. So we're going to let these sit for probably about 15 minutes. So I really have to be careful with this handle. I often forget that it's hot because I'm not used to it. I don't put it in the oven a ton. But since our pan is already heated, we are going to throw in 1 medium diced onion. And the recipe calls for 2 cloves of garlic minced up. I went ahead and used 3 because mine were a little small and we really like garlic. And 9 ounces of chorizo. The recipe doesn't specify beef or pork, and we have beef in the fridge, so that's what I'm using. Plus, that's Eleanor's preference, is the beef. The pork I find is much milder, so if you want more mild, especially with the amount of heat this has, maybe go with the pork. So we're just going to let this cook for about 5 minutes, and we're going to move over to the crock pot and handle the rest of our ingredients. So since we're taking this with us, I'm using my crock pot. Now you could cook this all on the stove and just melt it there, but we're going to drop it in here so that once that chorizo's done, it's all done. So we need 2 pounds of Velveeta. I'm using this Brookshire's version of the Queso Easy. We love this, but I like the white one better than the yellow one. It still is yellow, but to me it's not, I don't know, it's not as rich, but it's still super delicious. Plus, it's got a bunch of seasoning in it already. So we've got the 2 pounds down in there, and we're going to add 2 cans of Rotel, juice and all. If you're wanting to cut down on some of the spice, I would definitely use a regular Velveeta, and then also you can just use some diced tomatoes. And then we need 1.5 cups of milk. We're going to add in our chorizo. And I've got my crock pot set on high so that it's heating up that cheese and that milk and everything so that this can be all ready. Alright now, so these have been sitting for about 10 minutes and I wish I could let them set a little bit longer, but I need to get them going. So, and it looks like they're doing pretty good. I'm just going to take my knife and kind of peel the skin off of these. And you can remove the seeds and everything if you want to, but I'm going to leave them in and just do a rough chop of the peppers. Ooh, they smell so good. I might take that big chunk of seeds out. And we're just going to scrape this all up and dump it in our queso. And that's it, y'all. So I'm going to just break up some of this cheese a little bit to get it cooking a little bit faster. What's funny is this definitely matches the theme for tonight. So we're doing a Christmas event, and I know it's not even close to Christmas, but we're doing a Christmas wreath class. So the red and green of this, I think, will work perfectly. So I'll let y'all know how it goes over, and if everybody enjoys it. It does look super spicy though, y'all. So we shall see. So for tonight, we are doing some leftover remakes. I have about a little less than half a box of this pasta that I'm going to pop in my pasta cooker to go in the microwave. With that, I'm going to use some of our queso. I'm actually going to use all of it and see. It might be a little bit too saucy, but we'll see. But this is some queso we made for our ladies' night. And I just have some ground beef that we've canned up. I've drained off the fat and the juice. I'm just going to break it up and drop it down in our queso. Now remember, our queso has chorizo in it already, so, and it is beef chorizo. I almost put chicken in this dish, but I figured with the beef chorizo we would go with beef for the addition. I'm going to mix this around in the queso and just put this back on to warm up while our pasta cooks. I've got some of the leftover chips that we might crunch up on top to give a little bit extra texture, and we will see how this turns out. This is the epitome of using up what you've got so that I don't really have to cook it all tonight. You might hear in the background we've also got some leftover taquitos warming back up in the air fryer to see to have those go alongside with it. It's a hodgepodge, but it will get people fed. Alright, y'all, so our pasta is done. We're going to add this in and just let everything mix and finish warming up together, and then we'll taste test and see if we need to add anything or just toss the whole thing out, which I'm really hoping not, but see how it all is. I kind of feel like we need something green to break up the cheesiness. I'm just not sure what. So I may, actually not too bad. I'm going to let this meat finish warming up in here. We've still got the crock pot turned on. And then we'll taste test again. But it's not tasting too bad at all, actually. I know this is like one of my favorite things to add. And I've heard a lot about it. But I think I'm going to add some black beans. I just feel like that would go really well with it. So I'm going to rinse a can of black beans and I'll toss them in as well. And there's some black beans. I went ahead and warmed them up in the microwave after I rinsed them. Give this a mix. And that is reusing our leftovers and using up pantry ingredients. So I'm all for it. I love the fact that I was able to repurpose this queso that if we didn't eat it as chips and cheese and everything would go to waste. I mean, you could put it over nachos also, but it's kind of how we had it earlier today. So there is dinner, y'all. I'm just going to take a few of these broken chips and crunch them over the top to give us a little texture, and then there we go.